What's going on, guys? It is Laser here with another weekend video analysis. It's Friday, 6:45 p.m. We're dropping this video a little bit early. I'm gonna be busy tomorrow. Normally it's Saturday, so I'm not gonna make this kind of a habit, but I'm gonna get this video out a little bit earlier. I'm here to share where I see NIO going into next week. If you missed my last week's video, definitely check it out. We drop one of these videos once per week. Again, as always, if you're making a big financial decision, do your own due diligence. I'm just here sharing my opinion as to where I see the stock going. I just love the stock. I've been wrong in the past before. And in fact, if you want to look at my last week's video where I thought it was going to come down to 409, I was wrong about that. It didn't. And it blasted up towards that 550 big resistance level. Now, if we take a peek here at the actual stock, you'll see I've drawn out two lines, 550 and 409. Both of those are major levels. So you got a major resistance level here at 550, as you can see, looking to the left, and a major support level at 409. They're also big fib levels. I also drew in for today's video a yellow line showing that when it did pull back, it retested the previous highs of the last rally. And I'm going to highlight this. Let's see if I can do this with this tool. There's a demonstration. Here we go. So notice how do I do this? Hold Alt for temporary drawing. Notice how it kind of came up and it broke this high over here. It came back to retest it. So here we go again. Notice that it broke this high. I believe that. And so that price point, by the way, that price target, if it does work its way back down, is if the wick of that is 444. So if you're watching this and you're like, man, like it's kind of high, I don't want to chase NIO at this price, and I want to get in on this, that might be, probably where I would be looking at actually for a potential bounce. Now, if you take a look over here, let's see if this works. I gotta use the wrong tool. Right in this zone right over here, it ended up making what I would call a bull flag. Now, I think that's actually going to be forming right here. That's what I think is currently forming. Now, there's a reason why I think that. I'm not just thinking that just because. Now, you might be thinking like, well, shouldn't it reach 550 first? I mean, that's what I thought it would do. It would either go to 550 or to go to 409. It's kind of, we're somewhere in the middle here. Now, it hasn't done that. Now, we are kind of, it looks like to me, slowly cooling off. Now, when I look at the 24-hour time frame, and I'm just going to, I like this tool. I'm going to stay on this tool. Notice here on that previous, and I'm using this previous rally from last year because I think they're very similar, because they both bounced off a higher low on that 200-day moving average. Now, that's when it made a higher low, and I was calling that out. Now, if you take a peek here, there was a noticeable pullback. And it's funny, if you see kind of where it's at, it's almost it's spooky kind of how it's like almost at an identical point. And I think it's starting this bull flag. And so what you would see is you would kind of see that small little pullback, and then off it goes again for another push higher. And I think that's going to be totally in store, totally in play. Now, it just so happened that it blew right past this high here, so it's much more lower. It's a bit of a different setup, but I think it's going to play out in a similar manner. Now, the reason why I think the bull flag is actually starting, what gave us hints? Now I'm going to show a 2-hour time frame. Now, if we go into the 2-hour time frame, and we're going to study, because this is pretty much the closest thing that we have, we're going to study this rally right over here. So, and I'm going to zoom in. So for some of you guys that are probably on your mobile phone, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so we can look at the velocity here. I want to see both on the same screen. That's probably perfect. Here we go. So if you take a peek, we have this entire rally. It took place, and then it made this bull flag here and broke below the 200-day moving average. Broke back above the 200-day moving average and gave you a double top from a velocity perspective, but it actually made a lower high on that 200-day moving average. So it honestly, if you go back last year and you look at like kind of my tweets, I was like this looks kind of whack. Like I think that the run might be over. It wasn't. It was just taking a cool down actually. And I think the same thing is going to happen here. And if I look at the same here, I mean it's very very of a similar setup. I believe we're kind of like, hang on, wrong tool. I don't want to have to delete a bunch of things. We are, I believe, like right around here. The question is that I don't know. I don't have the answer. Is this consolidation took in total? How long did it take? It took in total 13 days. Does that sound about right? 2 weeks. So from September 9th, it didn't actually start moving until September 23rd. So how many days was that? That was 11 to 30. It was about 2 weeks. Actually, I'm not going to do days because I think that counts weekends. I'm going to just do bars. Date range. Wait, does that make sense? Go to the 24-hour time frame. Measure that. That makes more sense. So it took about 10 trading days. And the question that I don't know, will it be the same? Will it be 10 days or will it be longer? And there's a couple things that I think might potentially play out. Number one, notice when it made this bear flag, it wasn't that far off. It was going from 550 to retest that $5 on it. It was 50 cents off. I mean, actually, we're kind of in that range. It's going from 520 now down to 440, a little bit lower. But I do believe that there's going to be a period of consolidation. Even just looking at the 24-hour period, we haven't gotten that. And if you were to draw this out in a path, I know it's tough to kind of visualize, but I'm going to draw up this path here. Down, up, more down, up, and then down. Now let's see if I can. I'm going to try and do something here. Can I drag them all at the same time? Okay, so it's going to be kind of like that. Down, and you can almost see it. It's already giving you that up. Further down, I think that's going to happen. I think it's going to tag 444. More up. You can get the volatility. The volatility is coming in there. Down. And then it's going to go. It's roughly in that kind of pattern, in that kind of formation. You're going to get some, it's going to run. And then it pulls back. And then you think, the run's dead right around here. And then it's going to, and then you're going to go, it's running again. And then it's gonna basically coil. It's gonna build out like this flag. It's gonna build this consolidation. And how could we actually be for sure when that consolidation period is over? Now, if I were to go back to the 2-hour period time frame and look and take a look, there's a couple different ways we could do it. But number one, the easiest way is by looking to the left here. We knew for sure it was done when it broke back above the 200-day moving average. Now, if you wanted to get in a little bit earlier on that, and you're banking on like that reversal, it happens. Let's see here. Breakout. This was your first breakout. That was your first pullback, and then it broke out again. I mean, you can argue that was your second breakout, your second pullback. So it was within these two ranges that you could have like took a stab here and got long. Now, what is currently happening at the moment? If you look at the 2-hour time frame, it doesn't even have a lower high. So let's just say come Monday, it goes up and comes back down. We're now going to be able to draw a trend line. Perhaps it gives you that break. And then it pulls back down once more, breaks, and then it goes. And then it'll basically be like, okay, this was your first pullback after a breakout. This was your second pullback. That's how we can kind of time like, all right, there's going to be a move. And I'm betting on a continuation of this trend. And that's when I want to time this thing. The way I look at this right now is this is the very first lower high it's forming here. And perhaps it creeps over just a bit, I mean, it would make sense to, go just take that high out at 509, maybe 510, and get some people. I mean, maybe it'll really go above 525, but from a velocity perspective, I think this is what's going to play out. That's where I'm at. I do believe 550 comes. It's just a matter of what will it do once it makes that next big move. Is it gonna blast be up? And this is what I think could happen, and what I think is what I want to happen. I want it to blast above 550, not even reject. You get that quick test, and off it goes. That's what I would love to see. Consolidation, and I can't tell you how long this consolidation is going to be. It could be 10 days. It could be 20 days. But there's going to be a period of consolidation. And I think when you know that consolidation is over is once 444 has been tested. So if, is it 444? Yeah, it's 444. So if 444 doesn't get tested, say it doesn't get tested, I'm not going to be super, super duper confident that the bottom has been in this bull, I guess this bull flag that's forming. And the only two indicators that will tell me is this will be an early indicator, touching and tapping, I think 444. Another early indicator will be, this velocity trend line breaking, which we won't know until next week because we got to wait for this to form. It's forming a lower high still, and it's completing that. So that's the way I see it playing. And you got to give it to the bulls. Like, that's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful move so far. Take a look at that 50% move. And on that 24-hour time frame, it looks gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And so that is something that I see potentially playing out here. The reason why I think it started already, again, if I haven't already said it, I'm repeating, is I can already see on that 2-hour time frame, it broke below the 200-day moving average. That's why I think it started. This consolidation period has kind of started. If I were to go back to the last nice big 100% rally, you'll notice, and this is kind of messy, you'll notice this entire big move happened without breaking the 200. It was so clean. It was like, boo. And then that's when it was the period of consolidation happened below the 200-day moving average. It wasn't much, but it was nice. It was a nice chance for you to reload and get back in. And also fake people out. I think that continuation of trend is going to happen again here. Now, if you take a peek here, I think we're kind of got the same thing, same setup. That's going to happen here. And it'll be healthy, super healthy for the stock because when you look at how much it's pulled back, it hasn't really given you a sizable pullback. And from last week, it pushed way higher. So it's definitely possible. I want to see 444 hold. It would honestly be a nice big. Notice it wicked below. So if it breaks under, wait for the candles to close. It's okay if you get it temporarily below that. I think that's going to be coming. Either next week or the week after, we're going to see a retest of 444. That's my opinion. And I don't think it's realistic, in my opinion, to just expect straight continuation. And if it does, I mean, I'll be happy to be wrong if it does that. But I would also be surprised because everything that I'm seeing from a velocity perspective says it's not going to do that. It's showing weakness. It's showing, and I know you guys saw how kind of quick it dropped actually, and it shows that also on our velocity. I don't want to speak uncertainties. I'm just letting you know those are the possibilities, and that's kind of what I think. Now, looking ahead at BABA, this looks a little weird. We'll go regular. BABA started moving with some good news. And I do believe it's going to come up and, it wants to take out that previous high and come into 137. You could see it was trading within this channel. And on both runs, you got in parabolic runs. Perhaps it's, like if you're comparing this run to the last run, it's like in this stage where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of consolidation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, you're going to get that period of consolidation, perhaps a retest here. Did it come down? And look what it did. before it went boom. Did it touch it? It might have touched it. I got to zoom in. I don't think it actually did, but it looked like it did try to make an honest attempt at touching it. So it didn't quite touch that one actually, but it did give it an honest shot. It came pretty darn close. So if you're in Baba, I mean, like that previous high really is, it's right there. 118. I mean, it's literally right there. That's where you'd want it to bounce. 118, and then a little bit lower, and then it goes boom, and then it launches. Baba hasn't had as big of a move as NIO, so it won't have as big of a fall. It's only pushed 20% from the bottom of that move, and so because of that, I don't think it'll drop as much either. But I like it. I really like Baba. Oh, by the way, Baba last week, I'm not sure. It broke above the 200-day moving average. I really, really like Baba here. It looks very, very, very bullish. Baba, I just got to hang tight, be patient on that one. Baidu starting to move here. Look at that. Baidu is really starting to move here. Looks good. Baidu. I'm not going to do a deep dive on Baidu. Honestly, I'm really not. But one thing that worries me on Baidu is, and I see this very often, it's kind of just bouncing. You're going to get that break below. It's going to often, that's usually like that candle knife. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I don't want to jinx Baidu. I want Baidu to do really well, but I could see a really, really big drop happening with Baidu with this particular setup. Hang Seng Index. And we talked about this before. Like, look how beautiful that move was off the 200-day moving average. Like, it was so beautiful right over here. Clean and above. And look at that. Clean high. All the way up. It's giving you a little bit of consolidation. I do believe it's going to push towards the top there, 2,600. And if you want to see that continuation, like you want to see it go push way higher, 30,000. Okay, 30,000. That's possible. It's a possibility, but it needs to break clean above 26 first. I think 26 is a given. That there's a magnet there. Let's see. Is there a magnet picture here? I think there is. Boom. That should be red. There is totally a magnet right there. It's coming. 2-hour time frame. It's funny. It's like the same thing. It's wanting to kind of generate like this consolidation bull flag that I think is forming here. So it's nothing overly bearish, but healthy pullbacks. So I think it's going to be like more of like a healthy pullback. Dixie. So I'm kind of blast through this so this video doesn't end up being too long. It gave you a head fake here, and then it broke back below. Kind of bearish, but higher high, potentially forming a higher low, higher high, higher low. It could still push. I still have my eyes set on 103. I still think that's coming. I think that's going to be, it's also going to be timed with when the SPY wants to give you that pullback. It's coming. I think it's going to come real soon actually here. So, but there's still a possibility. Like if this thing shits the bed, I don't want to end, like, that's a possibility. 92, but that can't be it. That can't be it. This is straight up coiling here. And I want to believe it wants to make a bigger move. That's what I want to believe. I think that's what's going to happen, but only time will tell. Now, when I look at the 2-hour time frame, it just broke above the 200-day moving average. This big Dixie move, by the way, look how messy this. I don't know if it bothers you, but it's bothering me. Here we go. And I'm going to zoom in. That nice move on that we saw on the Dixie where it went from 96 up to 98, which is your US dollar index. It did so on a lower low on the 200-day moving average. and it's now has broken the 200-day moving average, and it's forming a higher low. And we know when it does those things, and then you kind of factor that in with the bigger macro perspective, you tend to get a bigger move. That usually is coming. So I'm betting on that and banking that Dixie will still rise and will still push higher. Not gonna pay too much attention here. Other than that, the SPY looks ridiculous at an all-time high. I think you can actually draw out a line here. It's funny. You can almost like draw that line out. I think if you were to go like from here, I'm not even gonna do that. Actually, play around. I'll be wasting too much time. But I think SPY is. I mean, like, I think it's due for a healthy pullback. I don't know if we've gotten one. I think it could be worth having a healthy pullback. So I would be a little cautious here going into next week, expecting this to continue to push. We'll touch quickly on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still so good. It is so good. The reason why I'm saying it's so good, if you don't understand or don't know what you're looking at, is you're looking at Bitcoin has broken above this entire parallel channel here. And if you peek over here, it's still holding above. It's still holding above here. And so long as that holds above here, it has a chance at making like some silly parabolic move. And the last time Bitcoin made a silly parabolic move, that also what I believe that's also what kickstarted NIO. I'm not saying they're correlated. Kinda. I mean, could be coincidence. You got a little pop on Bitcoin. NIO cooled off. Boom. Let's see. Let's see what happens, you guys. That's it. That sums up my video. If you guys want to hear me sum it up real quick again, I do believe we're going to enter a period of consolidation. And I think it's going to probably have a lot of people talking. Is the run over? Is it done? Is that all it is? I don't think so. I think it's got so much more room to give. But when you bump up like 50%, it's going to take some time for it to kind of consolidate and possibly retest previous highs. I don't think it needs to guarantee. It either needs to tap here at 444 or on that 2-hour time frame, it needs to show that it's broken back above the 200-day moving average, or it's formed like this higher low and it breaks that as well with confidence. And I'll post if I see something like that. I'll let you guys know. But I think ultimately patience is going to be what's best here. I don't see anything dangerous at all on a bigger scale, bigger time frame. To me, it just looks like it's just one big, huge freaking move to the upside without really a healthy pullback. And I think a healthy pullback is coming. But that's it. That is all. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to actually smash the thumbs up button, hit the like button, as well as subscribe if you want to get new updates or you want to get updates when my videos go live on like a day like today. Thank you so much, guys. Hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend. I'll talk to you guys later. Cheers.